Hey,
Welcome back to another episode of Slow Podcast.
yeah. Episode number 17.
Yep.
Pretty
Today
good.
we want to talk about something.
No, we're going to talk about modern words,
Yeah,
modern languages,
yeah.
modern phrases like
FOMO,
FOMO.
right?
LOL.
I never knew what it was.
You never knew?
I never knew, right?
Uh-huh.
So because I never felt it. For the longest time, I don't have Instagram, and I came from a place where I had this belief that I don't need Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Hence, I never fully understood FOMO because I don't see, right? I don't know what people post. I don't know where people go unless they tell me. So without that part of my life, FOMO wasn't really something I struggled with.
Yeah.
So 3 years ago when I
Until?
started Instagram,
Uh-huh.
yeah, I'm going to do my until, right? So 3 years ago I started my Instagram during the pandemic, right? Hence this is where I am today on Instagram constantly, all the time. And I keep seeing pictures, right? People traveling, like those unique spots they go to, the food they eat and stuff like that. I started to develop this sense of FOMO.
So are you blaming Instagram for causing you to have FOMO?
Because if I don't
We're
see,
going to tell Meta, man,
Yeah.
you are the problem.
if I don't see, I don't know, right? Hence, no fear.
So ignorance is
Yeah.
bliss.
But because I keep seeing and it keeps popping up, even on my explore page, all you see is holidays, even running reels. They are all about running around the world, right?
Yeah.
So I started developing this FOMO, and I finally realized why people every time they go somewhere on their own, finally they would want to, take those photos, go to those places, make sure they don't miss out on this kind of food, this kind of fun, and make sure people know. So let's talk about FOMO, because I came from a place where I actually had the joy of missing out because I didn't know.
Joy of JOMO.
JOMO, right? Maybe the new thing should be JOMO. That, hey, I don't know, I don't care, and it doesn't bother me. I want to live my life. So how do we deal with that?
Wow.
You never experienced FOMO in all my life. Every time I ask you about certain things, you really do your own thing. You don't really
Yeah, was it annoying?
care.
Yeah, I think when we travel, it's very annoying because then, let's go there. I'm like, no need lah. Go there for what?
Yeah, like we were in Lausanne this month, and we would not do anything. We would just go to the same place. We wouldn't even explore new places around compared to a lot of our friends who would, make the most of their time. Each day, one city probably, right? And they cover maybe 7 cities in 10 days, right? And that was something you never even talk about. And you always love going back to the same place, doing the same thing. And every time this time round, we went back to London, your favorite spot. And when we were in London, I get questions from you like, so what do you want to do today? And I feel pressurized because what else can I suggest? We've been to everywhere at least 10 times, right? 5 times. What else do you want to do? So at the back of my mind, I was thinking, why don't we explore something new, right? Why don't we explore some of those places that, the Instagram has been pushing to us, like Slovakia or like Eastern Europe, but we're always back in London, eating the same food, going to the same place, seeing the same shops, and feeling nostalgic all the time. By this last trip, I don't really feel nostalgic anymore. I was kind of getting bored of the same thing. So this joy of missing out, I think, has always been in you.
There's no missing out.
Yeah, you don't believe there's anything that you're missing out on. You want to experience life. You want to be present. You want to, like...
Wow, suddenly you say like that. Let's go back
there?
to London.
No.
I think firstly, I probably am not like that all the time. But I had the privilege of backpacking Europe when I was very young, when nobody even knew what was backpacking back home in Sabah.
And you couldn't post anything about your trips. You could only take photos and print it out and keep it
in
in
an
your
album somewhere.
album
Yeah.
at home.
Yeah, but I wanted to backpack not because I want to tell the world where I've been. I just thought it's a rite of passage kind of a thing. And then at some point, I guess, I got a bit FOMO, like, wow, people want to do this, do that. But I guess growing up, I've always been very specific, intentionally wanting to do certain things. For example, when from a very young age, I thought Sydney Opera House has got to be the most amazing building on planet Earth.
It is, I think.
It is. But there was a season I see that building like every year for 10 years in a row that I'm like, and then you were there, of course my brother-in-law is there, my sisters-in-laws are there. I kind of like, all right, that's enough.
So that's London to me.
But London is different. Okay, let's not talk about the place. Okay, let's talk about this whole. So I think a lot of people tap on ideas from what other people have done.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like the opposite. I think it's like, yeah, people have done it already. Why do you want to do it?
Yeah.
I'm more like that. I don't mind going back to the same place. I just want to make sure I feel that city. Like this time in Lausanne, for example, it's not true we do the same thing. Every time I run, I see different things. I explore differently. We feel how the people are there. Maybe when it comes to traveling, I'm not so much into taking photos to post. I'm more on really wanting to feel how the people live every day. It's very strange that today our podcast talk about this because I was just thinking, right, I'm looking at all these posts and people are like traveling all over the world. I am actually not motivated by traveling to take photos. I'm actually motivated by traveling so that I can leave something behind in that place to maybe influence a group of people, business, leaders, church, whatever it may be. And I think because I want to do that, I don't want to go to a city without knowing the heartbeat of the city and then assume that, hey, I'm that speaker that can come and speak and share with you my experience and it will be applicable to you. Like, I just want to keep going back to London to understand why people are so stressed, why people are so mesmerized, why people live like the way they live, eat the way they eat, in London. That, I don't know, so that I can have perhaps really meaningful conversations with people that, I don't want to just talk about places that I've been, photos that I've taken, buildings that I've seen. No, I want to know why that city is like that. And I guess it all has to do with our motivation. What motivates us? Like, of course, we both love Japan. Most people love Japan. And people who love to go to Japan were all like Disneyland. I avoid Disneyland at all costs, although it's magical, it's a nice place. But I want to feel where the local lives. I want to eat what the local eats. I want to know how they prepare their food. What do they talk about when they eat? So I like to go to those obscure places in Japan that it's not tourist friendly and nobody knows about it. And I really think it's just about motivation.
I think travel is one side of FOMO. As you were talking, a lot of other areas someone could experience FOMO pop up in my head. For example, the fear of missing out on like a social gathering. You saw a photo, everybody's there, and you are not invited, and you start to question, how come I'm not there? How come I'm not invited? How come I'm not having fun with them? Or another area could be LDR.
Wait. So you FOMO or not? Like social gathering, you're not invited?
I'm not, because I get stressed out in social gathering. Hence, that doesn't affect me as much, thinking how come people didn't invite me.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad. I kind of had JOMO, like,
JOMO.
I don't have to go. Oh,
Yeah.
great, right? So, but I know most people, if they see their friends hanging out and they're not invited, they would, right? They would question, they would ask, right? They would secretly harbor resentment. Another area of FOMO I thought about was LDR. You know, in long distance right now, you're away from each other, and then you see photos of your partner having fun with their friends, and then you feel like, like
So happy.
I wish I was there. Right? So there are many ways that people feel FOMO. But how do you actually switch from FOMO to JOMO? Because if you can live your life with JOMO, I think a lot of things won't drag you down. A lot of unnecessary things don't overwhelm your mind.
I really like this. JOMO, the joy of missing out, is actually a FOMO for yourself.
Say it, what do you mean?
I have the joy of missing out to some gathering because I have the fear of missing out what I could do with myself, with my time.
Yeah, makes sense.
So if I'm not invited to a party, I'm fine. I got a lot of things to do at home. But I guess I'm a home guy. I like to stay home. I like to read at home, walk around. You know, like I try to like fiddle with things in the house, listen to music, walk around, just, you know, enjoy my time. If we place greater importance in understanding the intentionality of what we want to do with our everyday, then you don't need to be invited left, right, center to give you that intention, that meaning. I don't know why I'm like that. Maybe growing up, I just don't have a lot of that social thing that I have to attend to. Most things are work-based. So...
And we've probably developed this love of spending time with ourselves. So when somebody does that well, naturally, whether they get invited to social event or not, whether they get to travel or not, they're still happy with themselves and where they're at in life, right? Doing the things that they're doing, being with themselves or being with family, being with their kids, or being just doing work.
Yeah.
So it is that satisfaction that you have with your own life, with yourself.
But I think as we are talking about this, if someone who is listening to us is a young person, they need a first step. Because they're like, your parents, you guys...
You're tired all the time, so
you're
want to be
tired all
alone.
the time,
So
you know, like you're so busy.
So you have no FOMO.
The person shooting this is laughing at us. And, but it's actually not developing that at a young age that will actually eventually cause a lot of trouble in the older stage. So you got to really learn to... I don't need activities or events to fill my life, but we owe it to ourselves to get to know ourselves, to invest back in ourselves. Of course, not to the point that you don't hang out with anybody, and I think that's weird too. But that, you know what, there are things that I have to have that responsibility to discover more about myself that I can do with my time. I'm building towards something. So when I'm time at home, I do those things. If I get invited, I get invited, turn up in a party, happy, loving everybody, come home, then continue what I'm doing. So I don't have to feel like every night also I must go out. Every weekend also I have to find some activity. I don't. There's something that I'm building in the course of my life. Older generation probably cross-stitch, you know. cross stitch or knitting. Then moving on to another generation, maybe learning how to cook or learning to do various things. Something that you invest your life in to discover a mystery, a secret of your life that you probably will never ever had if you just meet every needs, meet every demands, turn up at every social gathering. There are some gathering I would just say I'm not going because I'm a bit tired. I just want to be at home. It's a courage, isn't it?
But some people are wired socially, right? So hence they get energized going to social events. If you are someone like that, go for it. But know how you can recover emotionally, mentally, physically, and don't get to a place where you're totally exhausted. One such case is our teenager. He's in college right now, right? We hardly see him because he wants to attend almost every debate competition, debate class. He wants to attend volleyball. He sits through all his classes. He wants to be this, he wants to be that. And to a point, we have to talk to him and to say, hey, if you're too tired, you've got to pull back a little bit, right? So everybody's on their journey. And I think most people growing up, like if you're a younger person, you want to experience as much as you can with life. But if you don't get to, or someone didn't invite you, don't go into that victim mindset to think like, see, I missed out on it. I could have done more. So if you want that social gathering, you want that friendship, pursue it, right?
Yeah.
Work on what's within your control so that you don't get into a FOMO, but you learn to develop this thing called JOMO.
The sense of security must first develop on our own. I'm secure for being who I am. Security means you know what you're good at, you know what you're not good at, you know what you like, and you know what you don't like. That's security to me. If I'm secure, I get invited to social parties. Because I'm secure, I'm happy, people like to invite you. But if we are not secure, the problem is when you are not secure, you don't get invited. The more you don't get invited, you get even more insecure. And you're not invited because your insecurity causes tension in a party.
Yeah.
So let's learn to recognize who we are, enjoy the person that we are, enjoy the things that we do enjoy, and recognize that there are things that we just don't enjoy doing. Now, whatever stage of life you may be in, whatever you've heard us talk about today, maybe you were once like that, but you're not anymore. Or whatever stage you're in now, it will not be forever. You might change again, but just have to recognize that at this stage of my life, I'm into pottery. So, pottery. Talking about pottery, I don't know why it came out. I was just commissioned to do a pottery work for somebody. I better go and get that thing back. But anyway, so yeah. So,
JOMO is the new word.
JOMO is really getting to know yourself, enjoying yourself, being who you are. Then others can enjoy you.
That's right.
I hope this helps. A bit abstract, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's
something that all of us go through.
Yeah, and it's fine. If you don't want to turn up, don't turn up. If you want to be invited, then
let people know that you want to go.
I'm coming.
Yeah.
Have fun. See you next time. Ciao.